I was a presenter at a panel this morning. It was originally just to talk about where healthcare is going, but we had the decision from the Supreme Court that upheld the subsidies for people in the exchanges everywhere in the country. And we were talking about how the Affordable Care Act is working and what that decision is going to mean for the future. This was the last major court challenge to the Affordable Care Act. Now it's clear the Affordable Care Act is part of the fabric of the laws of this country. The law was intended to give people health insurance coverage, and for people who wanted to buy an individual policy, they couldn't be discriminated against because of pre-existing conditions, and if they couldn't afford it, they would get tax subsidies. The court decision was over whether the tax subsidies could go to people in the states that set up their own exchange, as well as the states that had the exchange run by the federal government. And Chief Justice Roberts wrote the opinion, 6-3 decision, that it didn't make any difference where you were. The intent of the law was to help people buy health insurance and get those subsidies. And it didn't make any difference the wording that was in one section of the law that talked about people getting subsidies when they're in a state-run exchange as opposed to a federal-run exchange. He said that the intent was clear, and he rejected the petition that would have said, oh no, you could only get the subsidies if you lived in a state where the state ran the plan. On a practical level, this means that the Affordable Care Act is a reality, and that millions of people are getting health insurance that didn't have it before. They have it because if they're low income, they get into the Medicaid program. But that, of course, is up to the states, which surprised us because when we wrote the law, we expected all the states would run the expansion of the Medicaid program. So a lot of low-income people would get health care. They didn't have enough money to get the subsidies in the exchange, but we provided 100% funding for the Medicaid program. The court decided, and surprised us all in 2011, that states could decide on their own whether to expand Medicaid or not. And many states have not expanded Medicaid. But in all states, the middle class will be able to buy individual insurance policies without discrimination and get help to pay for it, so that in this country we have the chance for people to access the healthcare system when they need it. And that is a goal that has been sought after going all the way back to Roosevelt. And I'm talking about Teddy Roosevelt, not just Franklin Roosevelt. Finally accomplished by President Obama.